When we're managing risk, preparation is much more important than having a plan. And so, what do I mean by that? There's a story, and let me read this to you from President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And if you remember, he was actually a general in the Second World War, became president of the United States, but he was also a soldier in the First World War as well. And he shared this story in a speech that he gave back in, I think it was 1957, to kind of illustrate this point. And he says, "I tell this story to illustrate the truth of the statement I heard long ago in the Army. Plans are worthless, but planning is everything. There is a very great distinction because when you are planning for an emergency, you must start with this one thing. The very definition of emergency is that it is unexpected. Therefore, it is not going to happen the way you are planning." So how do we relate that back to risk management? Well, let me give you a simple example that I've seen lots of companies do. And this relates to business continuity. So in business continuity, you're trying to plan for certain things that are going to happen in the future. So when they happen, your business doesn't go under. And what ends up happening a lot of times is companies will create this plan. Okay? We have a business continuity plan. And what ends up happening is they spend a lot of time and effort creating a very detailed plan about what to do if this particular emergency happens. The problem is that emergency may never happen. And so I've literally seen companies that have gone through and have a different plan for different types of events that can actually happen. They have a separate plan for Asian bird flu. They have a separate plan for mad cow disease. Okay? What's more important is to be prepared for the impact. And so in both of those instances, you may have a different plan for the different emergency or event that ends up happening. What's more important is to be prepared for the impact. So in both of those, one of the major impacts is absenteeism. That's the risk that you're trying to actually avoid. And so instead of trying to create a separate plan that, as Dwight Eisenhower said, is useless, be prepared for the impact of absenteeism. And so, because again, absenteeism, that effect or impact that your organization is going to experience can come from a lot of different areas. It could come from Asian bird flu, but most likely it's going to come from something else, like the normal flu, or maybe your facility. You can't actually access your facility, and so people can't come in, therefore they are absent. And so again, while a lot of companies are trying to spend a lot of time and money and effort in creating a very detailed plan, you're much better to just try to be prepared for those particular impacts coming from events that you think are likely to be there.